Hey everybody and welcome back, it's Matt, and in today's video, let's talk a little bit about why Shiba Inu hasn't been performing all that well over the past week, because this has been a wild week for crypto. If you're a Cardano holder or an Ethereum holder, you're probably very happy, but it looks like SHIB is actually ending this week on a pretty sour note. So with that being said, let's get right into it. So if you guys haven't already noticed this, something that's going on here is that on the day, it hasn't been performing very hot, but not just that, on the week, it also hasn't been performing very hot, and I figured why not solve that question in today's video. So when we look at the full list of cryptos right now, you guys can see these are some of the top losers here on the week, and something that should stick out to you guys very clearly is that SHIB is down a whopping 10.34% on the week, which is terrible. That's not what we want to see, and when we scroll through this list, there's virtually nothing which is down that much. So the question is, why did this happen and how can we recover from this? Because honestly, this is not going to be hard to recover from. I know a lot of you guys will talk to me in the comments, say, oh my god, it's going to zero. Look, fellas, it ain't that easy for something to just go to zero like that. I think SHIB has a very easy path ahead of it, and I'm going to show you guys that in today's video. So the main question here is, why is it not rocketing with everything else? So the only issue that really sort of, kind of strikes it with me is that it actually kind of had a lot of its run a few days ago. So you guys can see here on the 16th and 17th, it was absolutely booming, and then unfortunately loses a lot of that steam. And you could also see this illustrated here on TradingView. So again, we have this awesome run here on the 16th, and unfortunately that is kind of lost. All of that momentum is unfortunately dragged down. But when you really zoom out and look at the bigger picture, this isn't all that bad, because if you want to say, okay, we're here August 6th, we're sitting here at like the low sixes, this is terrible. If you want to assume that almost all of this growth here is negligible and volatile, and okay, it went parabolic here in a matter of a few days, this growth will probably slow down. If you want to write off all of this, you could do so and still be satisfied with the fact that it's been maintaining a line of support here at around 775. This is still pretty awesome, considering a couple of weeks ago we were sitting here well into the low sixes, which is just absolutely awful. So again, we saw a lot of growth very fast, a lot of volatility. When we look at the relative strength index, you guys can see this is just going off the charts at certain points, and a lot of times a volatility like this will end up causing definitely some sort of slowed momentum in the near future. So again, we see it exceeding the relative strength index here. It passes 70 here on the 15th and 16th, and then obviously it loses a lot of steam, almost gets oversold, comes back, and then right now it's sort of leveling off. It's sort of trading horizontally here over the past few days. So the question is, how long will this consolidation last? Well, again, any consolidation is a good consolidation because it's not a dip. It's not tanking, man. Anytime it's not taking a nosedive is a good day, especially with more volatile cryptos like this. But the main thing, man, that strikes it with me is that it's not straying below the support which it has established here on the 17th. So again, we see it take a little bit of a dip here, but it establishes that line of support here at around 7.8 or 7.75 if you want to be a little bit more conservative with your estimate. And as you guys can see, it's pretty much been trading within this for a little while now, man. I mean, even if you want to be more aggressive, you could say, okay, for the past 5 days here, it's been trading basically within the boundaries here of 8.6 with a low here of 8.1, and you could really call this here and be pretty accurate with this assessment. So this is all good, man. All this is telling us is that, okay, you know what, Ethereum, Cardano, they're having their run right now. SHIB needs a little bit of time to kind of reacclimate to this new sort of bull run here and get more used to it, because the volatility we had seen before that makes it a little tough for it to constantly be running like this. Again, what happens is a lot of people see this little dip here, they watch it kind of fall off this cliff, get a little bit of FOMO, and then obviously we'll buy into it in the future. It's just a matter of when does that happen? When does that FOMO kick in, where people say, oh my god, I want to get in now, before it manages to rocket up after this consolidation? So that's my hope. I'm hoping that sort of kicks in. People say, oh my goodness, let me get in here before it hits the 4 zeros decimal place, which obviously would be very good. That would be an awesome milestone here for SHIB. So that's what I'll be looking at here for the near future. When do people get into that? And when do people eventually assume that, okay, this is a good time to buy this asset? It's not overvalued. And really, man, out of all assets to purchase right now, I think SHIB is probably the best one, really. And you might be saying, oh my goodness, but it hasn't been growing. How could you possibly say something like that? Well, right now, compared to a lot of these other cryptos, man, I'll show them for you guys here. Compared to a lot of these other ones, man, especially if I sort by things that are at their 7-day high, I mean, my goodness, some of these here are ridiculous. SOL had a crazy run. Polkadot's been doing good. Just about anything that we like. Engine has been doing wonderful as well. I have a little bit of that, so I can't say I'm complaining. That is fantastic. Zcash been doing good. Just about everything that we cared about here is doing wonderfully. I mean, wonderfully. So the one time that, we were able to isolate a run and have it a week before the major run like we did with SHIB, that's a good time to buy. And that's probably why I'm going to buy a little bit more now, because I think this is personally a great opportunity to get in on SHIB while everything else is doing its thing. And then once Ethereum starts to slow and maybe hits a little line of resistance, or a little line of support, we'll buy then. But right now, SHIB right now really is just sort of bouncing off of this line of support. I don't see it going anywhere. As you guys can see here, while it's sitting at 816, it's not even near 50 yet on the relative strength index. It has all of this room to grow here over the next day or so. I mean, in theory, this could go from 815 all the way up to maybe 888 here or 9. It could head all the way up there without really exceeding the relative strength index. So we've got a lot of room to grow. I mean, SHIB could easily see a 10% gain without any major sort of recourse on its price, because that feels overdue. Especially in this bull run, this feels really overdue. And folks, this isn't something that takes a mastery in crypto learning to figure out. Again, I've just been looking at these charts every day for the past 3 months. A year ago, I knew nothing about crypto, nothing about chart reading, and the past 3-6 months really with this channel, man, has been the best learning experience for me in the world. And the biggest thing I notice about these trends is that the buy volume doesn't lie, the sell volume doesn't lie. When people show interest in something, they tend to keep that interest. It doesn't just evaporate. So even though SHIB is going through a slightly rough patch with this consolidation here, that's not all bad. It just means that it had its run a little bit before, and then obviously it's ready to have a run again in the near future. Again, I don't know when that will be. Maybe in a few days from now, maybe in a few weeks from now. Hard to tell. But again, some of these runs here have been really nice. They've been less volatile than previous runs. Still volatile to an extent, but less volatile than some of the previous runs. And a lot of these gains have been maintained. A lot of this has been maintained. You watch from August 6th here up and through the 7th here. Out of this entire period of growth, it was maintained at roughly here at somewhere around 7.4. So again, you guys can look at this, the same thing happening here after this period of growth. You guys could watch it's basically maintained here at a line of 8.1 or 8.2. So that's just a rough and dirty kind of look at all of that maintenance. Speaking of stocks and crypto and financial assets, if you guys want to check out Webull, down below in the description, folks. You guys get started down below if you guys want to support the channel. Easiest thing in the world, literally $20. You can spend $20 and get started, or you make $20 by making an account for free. Down below in the description, you get 4 stocks valued up $2,300. So if you guys want to support me in the channel and also want to make probably the easiest $20 you'll ever make, link down below in the description. But with that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts on where we head in the next week. Again, definitely not great to watch SHIB stuck in the red while Ethereum and Bitcoin are riding, but I do believe that's just because it kind of had a premature run last week. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.